views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you ready to thrive? It is time to take action. Hello, everyone. This is Jen, and you are listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. What is the result of thriving? Body confidence, mind fulfillment, and soul synchronicity. Tune in to hear about these elements and the scientifically and spiritually proven action steps to stand in confidence, love from within, be unstoppable in fulfilling your dreams, and create synchronicity so you can flow toward abundance and love. Hear real stories that will inspire you to take action today and be a catalyst for positive change in this world through creating your own Thrive life. Let's do this. Feel empowered and ignite your soul with Thrive by Jen Radio starting now. Hey, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. I know I say this every week, but I'm super excited to be here this week and talking with somebody who in the past has inspired me. We kind of have I guess we sort of have like a secret relationship, Michelle and I, on social media where we pay attention to what each other is doing, and just somebody who has secretly inspired me for a while now. And just recently, within the past week, Michelle wrote this article that just hit home and kind of got, me thinking about things that I've gone through, and I know people who I've either coached or friends and family that they've gone through as well. And so when I was thinking about this week's show, the whole topic of inner and external beauty, you came to be. And then I just was like, I just need to have Michelle on here. So, because her piece that she wrote was so eloquently done and just really hit home, and I know can inspire so many others. So I want to give a huge welcome to my friend, Michelle Huff, who wrote this incredible piece that you can find if everybody wants to go to elephantjournal.com. It's about inner and external beauty. So I'm kind of going to jump right in, Michelle, and give you a huge welcome and say thanks for being here. Because I said to Michelle, I called her up last minute, and I was like, my thought was I can't do this conversation justice without really having you here to inspire so many others. So thank you for hopping on and doing this.
I'm so honored. I'm very honored to be on your show.
I'm so excited. So let's dive right in. I want to give us a little background about, you wrote this incredible piece, and I'll fast forward. Just the focus is we have inner beauty, external beauty. We live in a society now that external beauty is totally, I feel, out of whack and has gone so far, such a degree of disservice for all of us and for our emotions of what we've done as far as putting a priority on what we look like from the outside.
Right.
But share with us, take us back to give us a little bit of your story and what happened.
Okay. So my story that's in this article that you're speaking of, and the part that relates to external beauty, is that I have permanent nerve damage on the left side of my face. So I have 3 cranial nerves which are damaged, and the facial nerve is damaged. So if I smile, it's kind of down here, which just doesn't seem like a big deal, honestly, but it's something that made me think a lot about external appearance over the years and how attached we get to our image of how we think others see us. That's really what it is. It's how we think other people see us. And so now, like you mentioned, that there's such a focus on external beauty because we have a selfie culture that we see on social media, all these people, and, they, you just like,
yeah.
face in the camera. And I think that can be a wonderful thing, and it can help people build up, their courage and maybe a part of their self-esteem. But it's overemphasized now. And I had to come to terms when I got my nerve damage. It was 12 years ago. I was pregnant and I had Lyme at the end of my pregnancy. So it was a very difficult end to the pregnancy and delivery. And then I thought that I would completely recover, but I didn't. And, as so many people experience, our bodies are, subject to change. Everything's changing all the time in our body and around us. And so that was a realization for me that, I don't have to identify with how my body looks or how I think my body looks to other people. And you're a coach and you help people get healthy and you help them work out and get fit. And I've been teaching yoga for a while, and that's similar. But I think if we can always come back to that truth of really what our identity is and get grounded in who we are as a soul rather than what we look like, that's a gift. And so that's really why I wrote about my story, is just because I thought it might help people going through similar things, or people who are just looking to find something beyond that, something beyond the appearance. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you're spot on with, we go through this daily. I don't know if it for me, and I always am personal in my conversation. This is something that impacts me daily. So whether it's to a great degree depending upon what's going on in my life or what's going on with me physically, or to, where it's a split second thought, right? That goes through. But this is, what I also love about your story is that this happened 12 years ago. And 12 years ago, our society has changed a lot in a very short period of time. So this has been I felt reading this is ongoing for you. And so share with me a little bit about that, because that's, one of the things that resonated with me was that, and even in my history of coaching is I think we think that we get over a hurdle and then that's it.
Right.
And then it's the right problem solved when just being very transparent is I'll deal with self-image and external beauty, like I said, on a daily basis.
Right. Of course.
So how has that been for you with this, us as a society changing in this 12-year journey?
So in some ways it's probably more difficult for me than it would have been had we not had this whole trend towards the selfie culture. But, and like the Instagram yoga and the, all the, and the, those multi-level marketing beauty products, and some of those things can be really great. But I think that, I had to come to terms with seeing that a lot, and also, how I feel in photos, even family photos, or, going out with friends and everyone wants to take a photo and post it on social media. That actually forced me to confront my issue with my appearance changing more than I probably would have had to.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good point. And you mentioned that everyone thinks that you go through something and then you're just over it. Mm-hmm. People want to have that belief about most any type of loss, right? But as you know, that, if you lose something, or if you lose someone, or something changes in your life, you go through a period that's very, very difficult, and then you get better, and it gets better day by day, but it's never going to go away. That's always going to be a part of your experience and who you are. So it's what we do with that day to day. Right. And
yes.
So I write in my article about impermanence. Nothing is permanent.
I love that.
So, it's really difficult to get comfortable with that as a human being.
You were so, and that's why I really want everybody to read this article, but that was so, you for me really hit home with that. And I guess what I needed was for you to name it you know, like you gave it a name for me. And so in Michelle's article, what we're talking about is that our physical appearance is fluid. It's not permanent. It's always changing. And that was, when I read that, I don't know. It really, I was like, I was like, yes, like it's, you know. And then this morning, what reminded me of what you wrote was I'd read something that said, be like water, so, you know, where we're fluid. And so talk a little bit about that, about what was that process like for you when you say that our physical appearance is not permanent?
So it's the physical appearance is not permanent, but nothing is really permanent about our personality, our body, ourselves. Our cells are always renewing, and we're different physically day to day in so many ways, and that affects our appearance. And so many people from childhood start to identify with how they look, but it's really how others see them, how they think others see them. Mm-hmm. And that's not even real. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like once you realize, like, that's just an idea that I have in my mind, and everything's changing, and that's not really who I am. That's not even real. Yeah. So does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. In fact, I want to talk more about that when we get back from break, because when I read your article, I had known your story, but not really. And so when I read your story, my first thought was, my gosh, I just know you as a beautiful soul. And so I look from the inside out, right? Which is, I think, what we do a lot of times for other people. I can look from the inside out. And what I've learned for myself is to look from the inside out. And so when I read your story, I was like, boy, I said, I understand, and I empathize with it, and I associate with it, because I've gone through this, you know, I've been through something similar, but it was like, I just see you so beautiful. I was like, boy, I just assumed you did too, you know? And so so what's so helpful is knowing that there's a process for people, right, to go through. And when we get back from break, I do want to talk a little bit about that process as well, because I think through your experience, you can help so many for some things that you've done and still do on a daily basis that, you know, has helped you see who you are, you know, as a, you know, from the inside. So we're going to take a quick short break. When we get back, we're going to continue our conversation with Michelle. You're listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio.
Gifted intuitive healer and spiritual teacher Sarah Luce brings her unique style to the hit show Small Steps, Big Breakthrough Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Tune in each month as Sarah turns reality on end and shows us how to experience expansive results with simple yet powerful steps. Expect an enlightening bend on what you currently believe is possible. For show details and upcoming topics, visit SarahLuce.com. That's SarahLoos.com. Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This hit show will have you thinking outside the box and riding the wave of infinite potential. Join Colette on the Higher Self Network, inspiring listeners to shine their brilliance and ensure success while roaring with laughter as they recognize the humor of the giant cosmic joke. Visit TheTruthIsFunny.com.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at TracyLClark.com.
If you're dealing with fear and anxiety, you've probably noticed that the more you fight these emotions, the stronger they seem to get. Dr. Friedemann Schaub, the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, explains that instead of suppressing, we need to identify and resolve the deeper, subconscious root causes of fear and anxiety. His personal breakthrough program has helped thousands worldwide to overcome their emotional challenges. To learn more, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com and schedule your free consultation with Dr. Schaub now.
Choose the new earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. The Cornelia Stephanie Show is your catalyst for anchoring heaven on earth on a global scale. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Hey, welcome back to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm here with my good friend, Michelle, and I want to dive right back in, Michelle, to our conversation because it's just, there's so much that I want to cover and so much good stuff. So in your article, you talk about the psychological piece versus the physical piece. You separated the two. Talk to me a little bit about, for our listeners, that there's, that we look different on the outside, but then all of a sudden we feel different on the inside. So take us through that a little bit.
Okay. So in the article, I think I was referring to the psychosocial difficulties that I had in terms of meeting the world really with what I felt was a new face, an altered appearance. So being able to communicate with others and connect with others from a place of authenticity rather than kind of a self-consciousness where you're sort of hiding. That was really the shift that took place in me. I think that I was able to connect with people before, but my experience really enhanced my ability to connect because I wasn't relying in my mind on how I thought I appeared to them.
Okay.
I was able to think more about them and to be less self-conscious and more conscious of others.
Put the focus on them.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I think that, before I had always had more of a kind of reticence to even speak in public, which is, I became a yoga teacher after I had my injury, which is interesting because I think I started letting some of that self-consciousness fall away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the, that's kind of the silver lining, right? A lot of times that we look for things, when something traumatic happens to us, to turn it around and say, like, let's look at the positives. Now, all of a sudden, walls are being torn down for you, right? These barriers are being torn down, and it's like you're growing into this butterfly and doing new things. Did you talk a little bit about, I know this is a process, and I think sometimes what we do is that we think we're gonna, because a lot of the times a trauma like this happens in a split second, right?
Yeah.
But the healing is not a split second. The healing, right, is a process. So did you slowly say to yourself, like what you just said about, okay, I'm going to start, I need to put the focus on others because that is going to help me rebuild. Is that something that you said you realized, you tried it, you realized that this works, this makes me feel better? Can you take us through a little bit about some things that you did and how you connected with yourself to know that this was part of the healing?
Okay. Yes, that makes sense. And in the initial stages, when I was really dealing with a lot of fear and distrust, like kind of distrusting my body, and I was afraid, and I didn't know, what was going to happen or how much healing I would get. In those early days, what I found comforting was meditation, and I still meditate. I still find that comforting, but an ability to let my mind get quiet and open up to other possibilities and, allow the feelings, but then just detach from them a bit. So, that was part of what I used to heal. And then I also had a baby to care for at that time. So that was really beneficial for me, because that certainly takes the focus off of whatever it is you're going through, because you're involved in caring for another human being. Mm-hmm. Then as time went on and I didn't get the recovery that I had hoped for, and, I was finding myself in situations where I did have to be, where I was connecting with more people, and where I was finding my interest changing, and where I was really thinking that I wanted to maybe teach yoga. That was the moment when I had to really take the focus off of how I thought I appeared, if that makes sense. That was the moment when it was like, well, this isn't about what you think other people, how other people think you look. This isn't about trying to put forward some kind of perfect image. This is more about taking what's important to you in your heart and connecting with others so that you can share that and also receive from them what they have to give. And it was the connection, I think, at that point that got me out of myself and got me out of my, feeling sorry for myself or feeling self-conscious, like, oh, I don't look like I used to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. And that connection, I mean, that's a human need that we have. That's right. That's one of our basic human needs. So you make such an important point that if we focus on that, then that helps, that moves us forward, right? I guess too, that in a way, one of my questions that I was going to ask you was, where do you get your hope from? Like where, because there, I know that there are days when I wake up and I don't feel as hopeful, that I need to kind of muster up that hope. And so you putting your focus on how can I help others?
Right.
Or what can I do to share my experience with them? Did that help heal and give you hope?
Yes, it does. It still does. And, we all go through periods in our lives that are transitional. Because as we mentioned before, everything's always changing. So we can't escape transition. That definitely helps thinking about how I can be of benefit. How may this benefit anything that I do? If I'm writing an article, having this conversation with you, teaching a yoga private, whatever it is, how can I best be of benefit in this moment? That is something that's very empowering and inspiring. You mentioned hope, and so for me, on the deepest, most personal level, what gives me hope is I have a strong belief that I am connected to a higher power. Not everyone has that, but I've seen in your writing that you're very spiritual and that you pray. I do too. Yeah. And so there, in my article, I make some references to Buddhism and yoga, and so Buddhists don't really like the word hope. Because it's a little bit more existential, and I can understand why they don't, but I do have hope, and I believe that I can connect the part of me that's divine with the part, that what other people share that's the same. I believe that we're all a spark of the creative source of the universe. We're fractals, basically.
Yeah.
We're connected to the whole, and we're all connected to each other, and so that gives me a lot of hope, that belief.
Yep. I love that. Do you ever feel, I always like to say this expression, do you ever feel like you're a salmon swimming upstream? And what I mean by that is when something physical happens to us, that's something that we're thrusted into. And so you like, for me, I feel like, okay, I'm battling a little bit while I have my internal and my external journey. And then when you settle down, because you're so right when you say we're we're always changing. We're fluid. But when you have that moment of fluidity where you're just, you're in your zone, right? You're in a great place spiritually. You're in a great place internally, externally. Sometimes I still feel like I'm swimming upstream because I'm bombarded by so much out there in society of, it's everything. It's whether it's internal beauty, external beauty, beliefs, right? Political views. Mm-hmm. Talk through me what you do. Is this the things that you learned, meditation, yoga, your self-talk for going through what you went through physically? Does that help you still on that daily basis of just going through life and making your life better through adding value to others?
Yes. And to answer your first question, yes, I do sometimes feel like a salmon swimming upstream, especially on the days when, especially sometimes this time of year, it's darker outside. People tend to have less energy and there's a lot of pressure to be cheerful for the holidays. But I think if I can step away from those emotions for a moment and go back within and reconnect through meditation, through yoga, and through prayer also, if I can just take a little bit of time to do that every day, even if it's only 15 minutes, even if it's only half an hour, then it gets me back on track. Yeah. And to where I feel like I could be more of benefit to others.
Awesome. And does meditation help you? Are there moments through, when we go through transition and when we grow, because you're, I think we're similar in the way that we're looking to grow daily. Mm-hmm. And so you almost always feel like you're in a transition. Does that help you? Meditation and yoga help you kind of shut out the noise of the world? Because sometimes that's what's needed.
Yes. And that's definitely what's needed. Absolutely. It does. And
is there something else? Do you think, is there anything like the noise of the world? Is there something that you've experienced that maybe sometimes we can't shut it out, right? Sometimes it's loud and it's there. Is there something that you've done that has helped you deal with it that way as well?
Well, absolutely. Ways to get regrounded in the moment, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if
yes.
Yep. Something traumatic or stressful and you need to be able to function and go forward. Mm-hmm. It has to do with, it's like little mini moments of meditation, if that makes sense. Like
sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay, right. And breathing, really the breath.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, breathing is important. Yeah. Just something that, as we're talking, I'm just thinking about this is that, some of the daily, we just, I don't know, sometimes I get caught up in, it doesn't have to be something big going on in my life. It's the little moments, right? It's just sometimes we're just off or sometimes I'm not feeling grounded. And I didn't know if you had experienced that as well, that where you're just like, okay, it's just those daily, right? It's the regrounding.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, the breathing.
Okay. And also grounding through your senses. So, being able to take a moment and take a look around and remember where you are. Notice one thing that stands out to you. It could be, noticing aromas, noticing sounds, noticing where your body is in space.
I love that.
Your feet on the floor, all that, like orienting. You've heard about that, right?
Yeah. I love that. Actually, that's a great point. Yeah. So just letting our listeners know that, right, it's normal. It's normal every day. We could be off. Doesn't have to be something, but again, that deals with, inner beauty. And when we get back from break, I want to talk more about inner beauty versus external beauty, because I think that is all the things that you're saying, not only in your article, but things that you're saying now, that feeds our inner beauty, that feeds our inner beauty, right? When you can appreciate, your surroundings, right? Or taking that walk in nature.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. That's part of that wonderful feeling that you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you were speaking of the stressful moments that you have when you just need something right then to feel more grounded. So Yeah, that's why just taking a moment to be thankful for your body and the fact that your heart's still beating and the fact that you're still breathing, and to even just take 3 mindful breaths, inhale, exhale. No matter where you are, you can pretty much do that, even if you're, in a traffic jam. That's something you can always do. But the nature walk, absolutely. I am all about connecting with Mother Earth.
Yeah, yes.
Like getting outside, just seeing the sky, even if it's a gray sky. Look up at the clouds, notice the sky, notice the trees if you're in the city, then, even just noticing the other people around you and like, wow, we're all alive and we're not in danger right now.
Yes.
That.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to take a quick short break. When we get back, we're going to continue this because I want to dive into, inner beauty versus external and bring this all together for things that build up our inner beauty. You're listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio.
Tap into the wisdom of animals, angels, and masters with Darcy Pariso on Animal Soul Wisdom Radio. Tune in monthly as Darcy brings insights on how to better understand and deepen our relationships with animals. Working with light and pureness of ancient techniques, Darcy, healer, animal communicator, and medium, is here to guide you through this process and provide inspiration to move forward. For more information about working with Darcy, visit darcypariso.com. Have you discovered the remarkable books at angelhealinghouse.com? Author Claire Candy Hough has channeled rare books of inspiration and insight.
Angels of Faith is an inspiring story of healing, comfort, and hope that reminds us that death is not to be feared, but embraced with joy.
One True Home, Behind the Veil of Forgetfulness, takes readers on a roller coaster ride through Angel Ariel's 5 most important lives on Earth, as well as her experiences in the afterlife, and helps us remember our own journey across the veil.
And Claire Candy's autobiography, I Am an Angelic Walk-In, which details the 2003 soul exchange that took place when Claire Candy walked out of her body and Angel Ariel walked in, creating heaven on earth for herself and others.
To find out more about these wonderful books, visit angelhealinghouse.com today.
Are you your story? Or can you change your story? Can you change what you believe to be true about yourself and your circumstances as part of your healing journey? What if you were to change your expectations? What if you were to invite ease and cooperation into every day and then step back and see what happens? It might just be easier. I'm Megan Edge, and I hope that you'll join me on my new radio show, Playing on the Edge, Radical Change with Ease, with my co-host Dr. Pat on Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to seeing you there.
Want to find out more about Megan Edge? Visit her website at meganedge.ca.
High-frequency healing for an amazing life with Source Light Radio. Join host Laura Barton each month on Transformation Talk Radio as she explores Source Light integration, a unique spectrum of energy, light, and frequency. Experience instantaneous healing and amazing shifts in consciousness with Source Light Integrations Radio. For more information on Laura and her work, visit sourcelightintegrations.com.
Hey, welcome back to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm here with my good friend, Michelle. I want to say this, Michelle, because you said something so brilliant when we were on break. What I realized and what I see from Michelle is that something physically changed you, and then all your growth and all your healing that you've done. To me, I see another physical change because this beauty is pouring out of you from inside out. And so, and you said something that was so beautiful. You said this process has enabled you to connect with who you really are. So it's like your light is shining, right? You're shining bright. So take us through a little bit. I always like to leave our listeners with something, with a how-to, like what they could do to let their light shine. What are some things that you do?
Okay. I'll try to make this a little more approachable by just thinking of one day. So if you have one day and you have a goal set for yourself during that day to get more in touch with your true identity, say who you are beyond appearance. I think the moment that you wake up in the morning is a very important moment. And I think that so often that gets overlooked. People will wake up and immediately grab their phone and look at their emails or look at their texts or, jump right out of bed. If you can maybe give yourself a few extra minutes in the morning when you wake up to actually let yourself wake up. So even if you set your alarm 5 minutes earlier so that you can be there in your bed and just start to connect, just start to notice how you feel and breathe and take a few mindful breaths and then notice what's in your thoughts. Like, what am I thinking about? And then, and give yourself some love, like appreciate the fact that you woke up and you have another day to live, just that first moment in the morning, being a little bit more mindful, like an extra 5 minutes or so. And that's usually doable for people. So I think that, setting your day on the right, setting it on the right tone is important.
Love that.
And then I think through your day, taking mindful moments or mindful breaks. So before you have your coffee, before you have a meal, if you can just take a few moments to appreciate what you're about to consume, that can be part of your spirituality by, saying a prayer of gratitude for it, or it could just be mindfulness, noticing what's in front of you, what the colors, the textures, the aroma, and allowing yourself to really take that in, to be conscious of it. And that's something that gets you more in touch with like who you are as an experiencing being, right?
Yep.
So, when you first wake up, your meals, and then as you interact with people during the day, coworkers or family members or whoever it is, if you can take a moment also to kind of step back, almost like you're sizing someone up, like you're looking up and down, but like step back and notice like, wow, I'm talking to my friend Dave or whoever it might be, like, oh, wow, I noticed the color of his eyes, and I noticed like, he's what he's wearing today, or just noticing a few things about that person, or this person looks a little sad today, or this person looks like they're maybe energetic today. Just taking a moment to really get present with the being that's in front of you, whoever it is you're interacting with, almost like you did with yourself in the morning and with your meals, to really try to connect on a deeper level with those people we're interacting with, because they're our mirrors, right? We all mirror each other. So we start to get more in touch with who we are inside when we can take someone else's presence in and really pay attention to the person that we're with.
I love that.
Yeah. So those are 3 things.
I love that. And you notice too, right? When you're focused on somebody else, I kind of say like, great, it's like a muscle we work. And so the more we work it, the more automatic it is that we go there. Then so much not meaningful stuff falls away, right? That's what I've noticed about in my life, is that just like and I mean like silly, right? Just, whether we focus on, I don't know what, maybe it's gossip, or we get caught up in something going on that is none of our business, or we get caught up in how we look and we focus more on how we look than how we're behaving. All the things that I consider not as meaningful as focusing on other people and what we can do for them and what we can do for the world. But when you do things like this, like that other stuff falls away.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It makes room for it. I love that. And share with me, so identity is so important, And what are some things that you've done to let out this new identity and who you're growing into? What are some things that you could share with our listeners for discovering who you are or who you're becoming?
Okay. On the break, you mentioned journaling, so I don't want to skip that because for me, writing has always been a very important part of discovering who I am kind of more on the personality level, or who I am, like what I'm doing in this incarnation, if you will. Like, why am I here? What's my purpose? What are my next steps? Writing is a beautiful tool for that. And you don't have to write for an audience. I think that having a journal is very useful, and writing by hand, and especially on the days that you're feeling very emotional or there's a lot shifting for you maybe internally, just to be able to write it out, write about what you're feeling. Sometimes that could be writing a letter to a friend. Sometimes that could be writing a prayer to God. Or it could just be, writing a poem yourself in the journal, just writing down the things just to get them out, to let the thoughts flow.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You mentioned before when we're talking about when the actual physical change happened, not like letting that go through you. And that's still important, right? Just letting those, and it's actually something you're reminding me of, something that I need to do more of. I think I hold on to emotion too long versus letting it go through me.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so for you writing, that's a great, for our listeners, that journaling is huge for that, because it's literally you're getting it out there. And sometimes after I write, I don't even remember what I wrote. Like it's gone, right? Yeah. It just feels good.
True. Yes. With the writing. And then, and so you just mentioned, what was it that you said? Letting the emotions flow through you, and letting, different types of worrying thoughts, or whatever it could be that you feel is bogging you down and you want to release it. Writing's a good way to release it. So you wouldn't necessarily associate that release with meditation, but the reason that meditation is helpful is because you start to come back to your witness consciousness, or your mind that's sort of like your neutral witness, where you can step back from your thoughts and your emotions, and you can have compassion for yourself. You can allow yourself to feel and think everything, but your meditation is a set amount of time where you are just holding space for yourself. Really, you're allowing all those things to be where they are, and then when you allow them, they can more easily leave.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, for sure. Because it's for me one of those things that when I hold on to those emotions, that additional self-talk starts to happen, and it starts to, right. That's when things start to run away with, my thoughts run away with. And again, then too, we focus on, then now I'm focusing more on me, which is that whole external, internal, right? Versus external versus internal beauty. And I want to talk about that as well. But again, it's letting those emotions flow, putting the focus on other people, what we're doing, how we're serving the world. And then that way that we start to build up that internal beauty. We're going to take a quick short break, come back for our last segment, because I want to talk about something that you brought up in your article. You talked about vulnerability, and I think that's so important because that's been life-changing for me. And I want to share that with our listeners, because I love when they get to have life-changing events as well. So you are listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you done being afraid to jump into the life that's waiting for you? Are you ready for a real shift? I invite you to tune in every Tuesday with me, Tracy L., on the Tracy L. Clark Show, where we will teach you how to live your extraordinary life. At 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I will provide the tools and the steps needed to help you transcend perceived limitations and move forward with an extraordinary life. For more information, visit me at tracylclark.com.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as we, Jason and Patricia, discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information about Living Lighter, visit www.livinglighter.org.
What is holding you back from living the life you are meant to live? Why is it vital to believe in something bigger than yourself? Are you in physical or emotional pain? Tune in monthly to Vibrant Purposeful Living. Awaken the vibrant life within you with Lou Paradise and Dr. Pat on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Lou's passion is to help everyone experience positive solutions for life. Find out more about Lou with Vibrant Purposeful Living at LouParadise.com.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
Hey, welcome back to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. We're diving into our last segment, and I love this, and I want Michelle to talk about it more because vulnerability, and you said it best, vulnerability and trust go together. So share with our listeners, what is vulnerability and why is it important for us to start being more vulnerable?
Okay, well, what vulnerability is to me is the ability to relate to others from a place of authenticity, and instead of relying on an external facade that we've built up, because we build up this mask or external facade that we wear around for our interactions with other people. And it's okay. Sometimes you have to relate from that place because of reality, because of business, or because of whatever. You're not always going to just be sharing your most vulnerable thoughts with people. But I think that just being able to be vulnerable in your life is, it's an act of courage, and it's trusting yourself, and it's trusting the world really, and trusting other humans. And there's a lot of emphasis on that now, in our culture to try to let go of the need to always appear indestructible. We were talking about, being indestructible.
Yeah. I also, from what you said before as well, is what I found with vulnerability is I'm being vulnerable, and it really, I think, what's happened for me is what people think of me is really less. Like it drops away. But it's funny, when I have that hard shell, when I have that indestructible attitude, I really do care then what people think. And I, so I get it. Like I'm with you. Like I feel so much more connected to another human being. And it's not, I want to throw this out there for discussion, is it's not weakness. It's not weakness. No, right?
No, it's strength.
Yeah. And it feels so good. Like when you and I said this on break, it's like that raw, it's that rawness. And like what you called it authenticity. It's that, it starts to, your light starts to shine. Like you said, it can't help but shine. And that then helps you find your identity, right? It finds out who you really are.
Yes, absolutely. And I think this is what we were talking about on break. And I mentioned that all of these things that we have that occur in our lives, the phenomena that occur, like, sometimes we have illnesses, or we have loss, or, we have failure, and we have to, those things occur and they start to chip away at that external facade that we've built. And so what I was saying on the break is that as we start to get those cracks in the exterior, the light from within us has no choice but to shine through.
Yeah.
And so, so there's that famous quote, "The cracks are what lets the light shine through." Is that Leonard Cohen? So I don't want to misquote, or like.
I'll have to look it up. I'm going to look.
Yeah, but the cracks are the way that the light gets, the cracks let the light shine through, and also let the light in.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, totally. And I was saying that I was just having this conversation with a girlfriend that I think we need to be aware and be careful, is that I know that right. I mean, I know you had moments of having to be strong. Like you said in the beginning, you had a baby to take care of. So you have to get up. And I know that those are the moments that get us through. But sometimes we can create that facade, that mask of being indestructible. Like, I have this, I could do this. I don't need help. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then that leads to a host of other problems. But just because you've been so eloquent about this, can you give us some examples of being vulnerable? Like in day-to-day stuff, can you give us, because I think vulnerability, it's interesting. I had a coach once call me out on this, and she said to me, you need to be more vulnerable. And I was like, well, how do I do that?
Examples. So I think being able to talk about your emotions is certainly a way that
I love that.
Vulnerable. When someone asks, how are you today? To actually tell them, well, I'm a little sad today because for whatever reason, someone in your family is sick, or whatever it might be. To be able to actually connect with how you're feeling and share it with other people, that's being vulnerable. But also it's encouraging. It encourages them, because then they realize, they're not alone, and not, we're not all just walking around with those hard shells and I'm great. How are you today? I'm also great, and go team.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the way it is, but most of the time that's not the way it is. Like we all struggle. So being able to share your own struggles and your own emotions with others.
It's breaking down that you're not perfect, right? We're not perfect.
Right. Yeah.
I heard a story over the weekend where there was this gentleman who had gone out to minister to thousands and thousands of people. And the long story short is that he didn't connect with anybody because everyone thought he was indestructible. He never showed emotion. And so we get caught up, right, in I think we're a little detached from our emotions, or we don't want to show them, and we want people to think that we have it all together when we can relate to each other. That was something that you being so vulnerable in this article, it made me want more of you. Like it made me, I was like, it just made want, to make that connection, to have that relationship. So it's spot on. I don't mean to put,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Before we wrap up, is there anything you want to leave our listeners with? What's something that you have so many nuggets of wisdom, and I wish we had 5 hours to talk to you, but is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with to help them deal with inner and external beauty?
Yes, and that is that we're not really separate. We think that we're separate identities and we're out there kind of like struggling against each other and competing, but at the heart of everything, we are I share part of my identity with you. We're all growing together. So you connecting with me today is making this a collective experience. And, it's that we're not alone in our struggles. They're not just ours. We're all growing together. So it's just that you're not alone,
I love that.
No one's really alone.
I love that. I love that. And I can't wait for more. Michelle's going to pursue her passion, her next, I call it the next chapter of writing. So I cannot wait to read more pieces from you. And everybody, please go to elephantjournal.com, or if not, find you on Facebook, because this article is a must.
Yeah, you can follow my Michelle Huff Yoga on Facebook if you want to stay in contact. That's good. And
yeah, for sure, to see what you're writing. So thank you so much for being here with me today. And it just was a huge treat. And I have to say, I've grown tremendously by what you said. And I was thinking about stuff today that even if I'm flitting around the house doing chores, I kind of like hone in on what's going on in my brain and in my heart. So thank you for that. And thank you for being.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much.
You're listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll see everybody next week.
Thank you for listening to Thrive by Jen Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Tune in live each Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, as Jen shares the action steps and real stories from people throughout the country that will ignite you to stand in confidence, love from within, and be unstoppable at fulfilling your dreams. For more information, podcast downloads, and to connect with Jen, visit jenniferzellup.com.